Welcome back, everyone. It's Casey from Nanny Parent Connection, here with our latest video, which is specifically for those of us looking for creative ways to save money on childcare. Due to expensive housing, food, and transportation costs, many families are looking for unique ways to cut costs. Today, we've curated a special compilation of past video clips focused on practical ways to save money on childcare. We've gathered some of our top tips from previous videos, covering everything from utilizing flexible spending accounts and opting for nanny shares to comparing the cost-effectiveness of daycare versus hiring a nanny. So sit back, relax, and get ready to check out some great ideas on how to reduce your childcare expenses. Let's kick things off with our first video from the Nanny Parent Connection channel, Parents and Nannies: How to Save Money on Your Taxes. Here, we explore using the FSA or cafeteria plan, which allows you to pay your nanny with pre-tax dollars.
Dependent care FSA, or sometimes they call it a cafeteria plan, where the family can set aside up to $5,000 per year and pay for nanny-related expenses with pre-tax dollars, which means that they won't have any Social Security taxes or income taxes or anything on their income. So it usually saves a couple of $1,000s up to $2,200 or so per year. If they don't have access to that through to the dependent care flexible spending account, if they don't have access to that through their employer, they can take advantage of the child care tax credit. Not to be confused with the child tax credit. There's one called child care tax credit, which essentially says you can take up to $3,000 of expenses per child per year with a cap of $6,000. And you can itemize those expenses, and then you get a credit on your tax return, and it helps offset some of your tax liability. So those are kind of the big 22 things I think to keep in mind, is that there's tax obligations if you had a nanny who made more than $2,400 a year, and there are some things we can do to help ease the.
Next, from my top tips to save money on childcare, we have a great suggestion on utilizing mass transit instead of having your nanny drive, saving you on gas expenses.
Now here are several tips that I have to help offset the effects of inflation as they pertain to nanny care. Instead of having your nanny drive the kids to activities such as the zoo or aquarium, you can save money on gas and encourage your nanny to take mass transit. I guarantee you the kids will love riding a bus or light rail if they haven't already, and it will save money on gas if your nanny uses your family's car or even their own car.
In our third video, Save Up to $25,000 a Year on Nanny Care, we cover two key cost-saving ideas. First, we discuss the cost-saving benefits of opting for a nanny share.
So why do people choose nanny shares? Well, there are a lot of reasons, but the top three tend to be affordability, access to care, and socialization opportunities. So for affordability, a nanny share will cost you about 2/3 of the cost of single-family nanny care.
Moving on to Can You Afford a Nanny? Working with a Nanny from A to Z series, Episode 2. Laura compares the cost-effectiveness of nanny care, nanny share care, child care center, and family or friends.
With nanny care being the most expensive form of childcare, just underneath that, slightly less expensive is going to be your nanny share care, followed by child care in a care center or an in-home daycare. And then last is probably going to be the least expensive form of care. Maybe you have a family friend or a family member who is able to provide care, and maybe they're providing that care for a lesser cost than what would be normal, or maybe even for free.
From What childcare options are available to you? Working with a Nanny. From A to Z series, Episode 1, we explore the option of becoming a stay-at-home parent to eliminate childcare costs entirely.
So being a stay-at-home parent is another option that does come with a cost and a trade-off, of course. So if some parents do decide that it makes more sense for them to stay at home instead of pay for someone else to care for their child throughout the day.
In our sixth video, How Much Should I Pay My Nanny? Laura discusses childcare costs based on the number of children needing care.
So let's start with the number of children being cared for as the baseline starting point. Care for one child will start at $23 to $27 per hour. For 2 children, care starts at $25 to $28 per hour. For 3 children, care will start at $28 to $30 per hour, and 4 children will be $30 to $33 per hour.
Ending with a breakdown from minimum to maximum expenses based on different care types.
Next, consider the number of years of experience you would like your care provider to have. If you require a high number of years of experience, say 5+ years of experience, you will want to add $3 to $4 per hour on top of that baseline rate. If you only require typical nanny job duties from your nanny, such as washing bottles, children's laundry, daily tidying of any dishes or spaces used throughout the day, that would not increase your rate at all. However, if you're in need of any household assisting duties, such as family laundry, family meal prep, errands, dog walking, or grocery shopping, that would merit a $3 to $4 per hour wage range increase.
Next, in Should I Use a Daycare or Nanny for Childcare?, we discuss the cost effectiveness of both options. Cost effectiveness. Daycare can be more cost effective than hiring a nanny, especially for families with multiple children, as the cost is shared among families using the facility. In a second segment from the same video, Laura examines the cost differences between daycare and nanny services. Let's talk about the cost difference between daycares and nannies. Daycares typically charge a set fee per child per month, which may vary based on location and services offered. In some states like South Dakota, Arkansas, and Mississippi, the average cost to have your child attend daycare is around $6,000 to $7,000 per year. In other states such as Washington, D.C., California, and Washington, the average cost skyrockets to $17,000 to $22,000 or even more annually. Keep in mind that additional fees may apply for specialized programs or extracurricular activities. The third segment covers the pros of daycare and discusses their cost effectiveness. Normally, a nanny will cost much more than a daycare center, but make sure that you are comparing apples to apples. Many daycare centers offer half-day and full-day programs. If you are considering a half-day daycare program, make sure that you are comparing the cost with hiring a part-time nanny instead of a full-time nanny. Same goes for full-day programs. Ensure you are comparing the full-day daycare expense with the cost of hiring a nanny full-time. In some areas, nanny care can be 2 to 3 times more expensive than a daycare center. Daycare centers provide structured environments where children can socialize with peers under the supervision of trained professionals. While they are generally more cost-effective and offer valuable socialization opportunities, they may have limited flexibility in terms of scheduling, potential exposure to illnesses, and challenges such as staff turnover and waiting lists. In our next video, How to Set Up a Nanny Share, Laura explains the benefits of finding a nanny share family first, impacting overall costs.
Here are the pros and cons of finding a nanny share family first. You can divide and conquer tasks together. You can each network to cast a wide net. You can all weigh in on the nanny candidate. You can share the cost from the onset, including any costs associated with an agency-style search.
From nanny bringing their own child, we look at how nannies might offer discounts when they bring their own children along.
Nannies might even slightly discount their own rates as a courtesy for being allowed to bring their own child along. Now, disclaimer here, not all nannies do this. If anything, a nanny bringing their own child along will tell you they are working even harder in this kind of arrangement. And as a result, some do not discount their rate.
Lastly, in What is a Mother's Helper?, we highlight how these helpers, often younger and less experienced, charge less than experienced nannies, providing significant savings for parents. Mother's helpers are often young adults, like students or recent graduates, who are new to childcare and looking for experience. They usually work part-time and are perfect for providing that extra set of hands when you need it most. One of the biggest benefits of Mother's Helpers is cost. Depending on your location, you can find Mother's Helpers that charge anywhere from $10 to $24 per hour. In a second clip from the same video, we discuss the affordability of Mother's Helpers compared to nannies. Affordability is a key benefit as well. Because Mother's Helpers are typically less experienced than professional nannies, their rates are usually more affordable. This makes it a cost-effective option for many families. That wraps up today's video. I hope you found these tips valuable and that your family can apply some of these ideas to save on your childcare expenses. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more money-saving tips. And don't miss this video on current childcare pay rates in the Seattle area. It's an informative video that you don't want to miss called 2024 Pay Survey Results and Comparison. Thanks for watching and see you next time.